Chris.
My teacher's just written all over my paper. It was the first paper of the semester. I didn't even really know what I was doing to start with. And now here she is, and I've got all this red ink over it, and I don't know what to do. How am I supposed to take care of all this? She's written all these comments all over it. I don't even know where to start.
I try to balance, when I'm reading, I try to balance and have some line notes, that is to say, at the level of the sentence, the word choice, framing of a particular idea, movement between paragraphs, transition issues, punctuation within quotes, all manner of things that seem like they're down in the weeds but really matter, and a global comment. So I always do both of those things. I sort of try to be as concrete as possible about what is working and not working for me in reading the draft, but not micromanaging. That is to say, not, for example, circling every occasion where there's a problem with a comma splice or something like that.
Looking at a paper in an objective way, because once you've been writing it for so long, you're only looking at it with your own perspective and your own pair of eyes, so it helps a lot to have somebody else look over it and see things that you might have registered, or you might have known but didn't register until somebody writes it on your paper.
A writer listening to readers, right? So you want to give a writer some agency if you want drafting to really work. A writer has to feel as though he or she could take or not take advice. And so, for example, I'm more likely to put WC over a word for word choice or diction over a word than I am to suggest a correct alternative.
Also, I do take it with a grain of salt. If a professor wants to change, my whole idea, but I'm really passionate about it, then I'll keep my idea, but I'll, incorporate or add more support or change it in some way. But I like to keep my own perspectives too.
So the first thing is really students reading comments carefully and trying to understand where I come from as a reader. And then I think the second thing I'm looking for is how does a writer respond to that dialogue?
The feedback that is most helpful to me is feedback that's specific, so that I know how to apply it. Or, speaking in generalities sometimes is really difficult, I think, for me.
There are just a bazillion ways for somebody to do something right as a writer.